Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. We're up to episode 119 of the Emergency Storage Shed Cleanout series. We're back to this cardboard box that keeps on giving. So lately in the last few episodes we discovered a stash of jewellery and old watches. We've been going through it and we're not making a lot of space in this storage shed, but we are getting stuff out. We're certainly adding up quite a lot in the dollar column, so that's pretty good. A few of you have been having guesses, and when we first went through it, well, I just went through one little box of it, ended up around about $220 worth of value. People started guessing anywhere from $500 to about $1,200 out of this box. Now, the last episode we went through the watches, and most of them, well, actually not most of them, but some of the better ones have already sold, and that took our tally to about $550. So let's get something out of it this week. We'll go through it, we'll sort it out. Hopefully we can find some really good treasure. If not, we'll work out what to do with it, and it will increase our value. I didn't actually offer a prize for whoever's closest. I might send a sticker out perhaps. But then again, if you start guessing now, I guess you've got an advantage over the first people. Who cares? Let's have a look. Okay, so we have still got a bit of stuff in here. So probably this one's next. This is a Japanese lacquerware type music box. It doesn't have the ballerina. It has a very annoying mirror which always seems to either reflect my face or the light straight towards the camera. But there's jewellery in here. So let's go through this one. I don't expect a lot unless there's some precious metal, but we'll go through that one next. And just so you know what's to come, probably we might get more done than that one. We'll see how we go today, but that's what's left. That will empty the box. And again, we just have random jewellery, badges, all sorts of bits and pieces. There could be some good gear, I just don't know. This came out, I think this came from a place in Melbourne I cleaned out probably around about 20 years ago. And I suspect it was old shop stock. So maybe any really good stuff they'd taken out. But who knows, people can miss stuff. Let's get the camera a bit closer and we'll go through this box. Okay, I've put a towel down on the bench. Let's just tip it out. And we'll look at the box for a start. Now it's got a bit of a pattern on the front. Is that a bird on a branch? I think it's a little bit scuffed. I'm not sure if we'll clean that up much better. And you can see it had a little flip up, probably a ballerina there. And there's a wind up. Oh, what's loose? Oh, I think something's loose. Maybe it's the music box. It's fully wound, so it's obviously got an issue. Oh, the hinges are loose. So it's not really that much, because it hasn't got the ballerina. If it had, I'm assuming that's what it was, if it had something that came up there when you lifted the lid and danced around as the music played, it would probably be worth trying to fix the music box. I don't know, we might just sell it as is. I've got a few music boxes in a container somewhere if I ever need parts of them. Does that lift out? It does, yeah. There it is. Oh, that's what was loose. Not sure what that was. But yeah, the music box in there has obviously got an issue because it's not playing and it is fully wound. Anyway, I think we'll leave this how it is. I don't think we need to include that. And we can sell it, even just for $5. We'll try and clean it up a bit better on top. Okay, now I think this was a little perfume bottle of some sort. It does look to be a vintage perfume bottle. It is glass, I think. Don't think it's got any real value. Okay, I think that can just go in the $1 box. No real value there. I'm more interested to see what these necklaces might be. Now, that's just an empty ring box. Sometimes I keep these to put rings in the shop just for display. That one's probably not really worth the effort. All right, we have a little kiwi with kind of an opal type effect. I don't know if it's opal or power shell or something. With the other jewellery we went through, my tool of choice for deciding what was good and what wasn't was a magnet. And we want to see if anything's magnetic. And yes, the little guy is. So it's not going to be a precious metal. It's some sort of little cast alloy. It's obviously got some magnetic qualities, so it's not going to be worth a great deal. But I think that little kiwi bird would be quite saleable, probably even $10 I think I'd put on that. So it doesn't have to be precious metal to be worth something. And one of the reasons we are getting good value out of this box lot is of quantity, of course. You don't have to have high value stuff if you've got lots and lots of low value stuff. Right, I'm going to have to untangle these chains, and then we'll go through and check them all with a magnet like we did in the first episode of this box. That's a large pendant. That looks rather cheap, and the chain looks like it'll be a steel chain, just plated or something. I'll sort these out and I'll go and get my better magnet, and we'll see what we've got here. So just pulling the necklaces out, that's quite a pretty one. It's I'm not sure what that actually signifies. Just it looks like it's some resin in a little casing with some sort of floral decoration. Oh, maybe it's a turtle? Not sure. Anyway, it's slightly magnetic, so it's nothing precious. Same with the chain, but it's quite a nice little necklace, quite delicate. And this one is much more chunky. I just squashed up one of these little loops here because it had come loose, so little repair job there. Quite good condition, but again, it's slightly magnetic, only slightly. You can just get it to jump with the magnet, but that tells me that it's not silver, it's not a precious metal. So we'll put, maybe $5 on that or something. Now the rest of these, oh, there was a pendant there that's magnetic as well. That's a cute one. I'm not sure, it's like a little resin bead with colour in it, or a glass bead. But again, the clasp is magnetic. A little earring here. Again, not precious metal. I don't know if it's got a mate to it, so we'll keep that separate for now. I was going to show you with these masses of chains to pull apart. It's a bit of a puzzle sometimes, and you do need a bit of patience. I find, especially with the small ones that have tied themselves into big knots, I find the easiest way is to use either a needle or a large pin, or I haven't got any in the shed at the moment, or even just tweezers that have a nice point on them. And it's just a matter of getting them on a flat surface with a bit of room and just pulling one out, seeing what loops through it, and just gradually undoing the knot. By sort of spreading the knot out, you can usually see how they've tangled, and if you can find an end like that, then you pull that out, and if you find where it goes, like it comes through here, tweezers are probably better because you can actually grab it, and then we can lift that up through there and untangle and just work your way through it. They usually come apart better than you think. Quite often you get to this stage and think, oh my god, I'm going to be here for weeks. But quite often, once you get one out, the others kind of fall apart. So a bit of patience required. But in a strange way, it's kind of therapeutic, or at least like meditation. And it's, I guess, good practice for your fine motor skills. A bit difficult if you got the shakes, but it's amazing how you can usually succeed. And just by pulling them apart like that to break the knot up and seeing where they go. This one's a bit of a challenge, but as you can see, I'm going to work through it. Sometimes it's worth getting the bigger ones out first, and then the little ones sometimes just uncoil. Anyway, you don't want to sit here and watch me do this all day. I'll be back with you when I've got them sorted, and then we'll check them all with a magnet. And there we go. That didn't actually take long. They fell apart pretty easily. So we've got lots of necklaces. So I'll go through with a magnet now and see if there's anything that's any good, really, other than just junky type necklaces. I didn't see any with hallmarks or anything. There's a couple that look like they could be. This one isn't, because I did check it before, because I put that little glass pendant on it that seems to match quite well. But often on the gold necklaces you see the flat links, and you sometimes see it with silver ones as well. And it's I guess they're trying to make a cheaper necklace look like a precious metal one. But I didn't see any hallmarks on any of them, so I don't expect there's anything good here. So what I'm going to do, I'll just put the phone back in the tripod, and I'll use my neodymium magnet from a hard drive and just go through. Now the one we just had, this gold one, is definitely strongly attracted to a magnet. So it's clearly just a plated necklace, but it looks nice. And that little pendant actually goes quite well on it. I think I'd probably put $10 to $15 on that one. Say 10 maybe. And then some of the other ones, this one here, silver looking one is strongly attracted to a magnet again. It says rose on it. So I think I'd probably have $10 on that one. And there's some quite pretty ones. This is a very fine one here. I haven't checked this. It's very slightly magnetic. Not as strong as the other ones, but it definitely jumps to the magnet. It's got a little pendant here with a stone in it, and I'm pretty sure if that's magnetic, it is. It won't be a diamond, so that's just a nice little fashion necklace. Again, looks quite nice, and would probably get $10 for that. So it will add up quite a bit. Here's the one we had earlier with this pendant, and that was slightly magnetic. Yeah, not super strong, but it does stick to the magnet. So another 10, I think, for that. So we'll just go through these other ones. Does this one stick? No, not noticeably. And I think we have very slight attraction there. And it's a bit hard to see sometimes. But this is very light, and it's possible it's even aluminium, which of course is not magnetic. So very light. I'm pretty sure it is an aluminium type necklace. Just quite decorative. Quite a long one. And I think we'd probably be able to ask, oh look, I might try 10, I might try 5, maybe 5 for that one. And I'm just going to go through all the others the same. This little fine one here potentially could be silver. It's actually not sticking to the magnet. I didn't see any hallmarks on it. So that possibly could be a silver necklace. I'll have to see closely if there's any stamping on it. But whether it is or isn't doesn't make a lot of difference. Something so light and so fine is not a lot of value in silver. Silver's not precious enough to make that any more than probably a $10 necklace anyway. If it was gold, well, different story. But yeah, we're not getting any attraction with that, so I might have a better, closer look at that one. This one I think we had earlier is slightly magnetic, probably just 5 for that one. This one actually looks like brass. Doesn't stick at all. It's an older style. It's kind of a woven type look. More vintage. I think that's probably just brass. So we might go 5 on that. This big heavy chunky thing is something like Mr. T would wear. And it's almost like a dog chain, that one. And certainly sticks to the magnet. Not sure about the pendant. No, it doesn't seem to be, but I think that's just some sort of alloy. Certainly wouldn't make something like that in silver. And that will probably be either plastic or glass, the little stone there. So I think probably just 5 on that one again. It's pretty much, I don't know, they say don't judge a book by its cover. I pretty well price these based on their looks. That one I think's got a little corrosion there. Very, not magnetic at all, but again it's quite light, but then it's very fine. So it's possible that's just a plated brass or something. But really, they're not going to have a necklace like this in silver without some sort of hallmark. You want to look for the numbers 925, meaning 92.5%. Some countries just say silver or sterling silver, but I think would go, yeah, it's definitely got a bit of corrosion there. So it's probably going to be a base metal of brass and just plated with something. Could be silver plated, but I think that'll just be maybe a 5. This one just looks like a standard everyday chain, and it's strongly attracted, so I don't think I'd even go 5 on that. I think I might revert back to what I said in the other video with some of the cheaper stuff and just go maybe $3 each or 2 for 5. This one's a nice gold looking necklace. Not, if that was gold, you would noticeably feel the weight. It would definitely be hallmarked and it would be worth a lot of money. I'm pretty sure that's going to be attracted to the magnet, so yep, but that's nice enough. We'll probably get 5 for. So I'm judging them by their looks. This is just a plain looking necklace. It has the flat links, but that's certainly not silver, and being fairly plain, we'll just add that to the cheaper pile. This one is plain again, and sometimes I can use these to put pendants if I have a spare pendant, and it turns a next to nothing value necklace into something that can get a bit more than I would just for the pendant. So that's obviously no value at all as far as precious metal goes. There's a couple over here. This one's just lost the clasp. It appears undamaged, but it just doesn't have a clasp. So maybe that can go... Oh, if I find a spare clasp, I'll put it on, but probably just in our junk jewellery box. Another one here that's broken. Just make sure it's not silver. It's certainly not. And then we had our little Kiwi one before. I think I'll try a 10 on that. And what else did we get? Well, we had a little medallion thing here, but it's just aluminium. It's very hard to read, actually. It's not a good casting. It almost feels like plastic, so I don't think that's of any real value. We'll probably just add that to our $3 each or 2 for $5 box, which we, of course, we won't sell everything out of that. There's another astrology. It looks like Capricorn. We could put that with one of our spare necklaces. That's probably not a bad idea. Maybe with the finer one, or maybe the next one up. So then we can probably ask $5 for it. Here we found, I think that's a crochet hook. It says 0.75 millimeter, tulip number 10. Very fine hook on this end. We do get asked for crochet hooks at the shop from time to time, but I don't think I'm going to get $5 for it. I'm not sure what they're worth. Probably just put that in the $1 box. A couple of little bits here. They're just off necklaces. They're not earrings in particular. So probably just in our junk jewellery box. There's a key. And that's just for a little cheap jewellery box or something. It doesn't suit the jewellery box we had here, though. Just some safety pins over here, and I think it's a curtain hook, so they can go in our scrap bin. The biggest button I've ever seen in my life. It's possibly even Bakelite, and I just have a jar of old buttons at the shop. When they fill up, we sell them, and we get a good price for jars full of buttons. That's a single earring. And I did run that past a magnet before and it flew at it, so it's certainly not precious metal. We didn't find a mate for this earring, so that can go with the junk pieces. And speaking of which, one of my subscribers, Gail, was very interested in buying all the odds and ends, the cheaper stuff, because she makes jewellery. So Gail, you can point out what you want out of this one, but I will be trying to get 10 for some of the ones with pendants, and maybe 5 for some of these. But yeah, let me know what you want. If anyone wants any individual ones, like perhaps this little Kiwi one, if I have any New Zealand supporters that would like that, let me know. Probably don't really want to post out jewellery items just for $10. It takes me too long to package them and go to the post office. But if you want a few items, I'll consider that. Were we going to go 5 on that, or with the, I think the 2 for $5 pile? So I'll sort these out and we'll get back to you with a value. There was a little ring box that I'll probably use to put a nicer ring in at the shop just for display. There's an older plastic ring box that's probably barely worth the effort, but I do use them for display sometimes. And a couple of bits of just rubbish, a little stretchy band, probably like a wristband or a hair tie or something like that. And probably from a doll set, a little plastic comb, but I'm just going to put those in the bin. So there we go. That finishes off this box. Just looking back at the footage, and the necklaces don't stand out against the dirty old towel that I was sorting them on, so I've put them on a piece of white card. You can see them a lot better. So these ones were the ones I was going to go $10 on. That one, that one, that one, that one, and probably the rose one. So probably $10 each on those. Then we've got 5. I think I'll go try 5 on all these. Probably to that one. And then I think we'll just go 2 for $5, $3 each or 2 for $5 on those other ones. That one would have been okay, except for a bit of corrosion on it. The little fine one here, which one was it? This one right on the end, could actually be silver. There's no markings on it though, and so incredibly fine that it won't really make any difference. If someone gets some sterling silver out of the cheap box, well, good luck to them. I'm not going to set about trying to test it with acid or anything. It's just not worth enough. So there we go. That's our selection of necklaces out of this box, and we'll get a bit of value. I'll get the notepad out and we'll see what it adds up to. Okay, not huge dollars, but not bad out of one little jewellery box. So which I think I'll get $5 for. I did clean the top up a bit better and fixed up the loose hinges. So there we go, 4 necklaces with pendants for $10 each is $40, 5 at 5 is $25. Now $3 per item, I think there was 7 items, so if we got all of them individually sold at $3, there's $21. Even at 2 for 5, that's about $15 or $16. So conservative $10, we should be able to get that. So a total of $90 for this week's episode. And if we add that to the previous we've got out of this box, we're now up to 645. This is becoming a cool little sideline for this series. How much will this cardboard box reveal? So, all right, we only have that tray left to go. We'll do that next week and we'll finish this off because we need to start moving some more volume out of the emergency storage shed. But this has been a nice little distraction and some really good dollars just for the small space that it took up. A quick look back to last week's list to see what we've sold, and we have sold a few of those junk watches just at $2 each. I think I put $2 each or $10 for the box lot, so I've got $6 back so far. I've been telling the customers that they're not working, and I tried a battery in them and they still didn't work or they had corrosion, but people are still grabbing them. Now the Seiko watches, the nice one, the one for parts, and there was one in the junk box section. One of my subscribers, Charlie J, has a friend that collects Seiko watches, and they are going to take the nice one. Yeah, the one for parts, the nice one, and the other one. So they're pretty much sold. I'll wait until they actually do go before I cross them off a list here. We also had someone buy the brass bangle on the weekend. So we're actually moving a little bit of stuff out of this one already. That's pretty good. And all the ones that I did put batteries in are still going and keeping good time in the shop. And the week before, when we first discovered this little treasure trove of old jewellery, what have I sold here? I sold the flat belt, I told you, and I sold the elephant bowl. I think I told you that last week. One of the hat pins has gone. I think it was the V one. Now, I think Elaine mentioned that they're possibly not hat pins. They might be lapel or cravat pins. But whatever the case, they're pins, and I've put them in the shop, and so one of them's gone. So that's all I've sold out of that lot. I do have a subscriber that is interested in the Jorgen Jensen ring, and also I think one of the odd earrings that the battle axe one that went in with the junk jewelry. And what else? I think we had someone else wanting some. Oh yes, Gail, I mentioned before, wanted quite a lot of the junk jewelry. And that's what the 30 was here. So we're going to be getting rid of a fair bit of this over the next week or so, which is great. Be interesting to see what sells next time the shop's open. So that finishes another episode of this series. We're almost through that box. It's a pretty good yield of that box. It's keeps on giving, so it'll be interesting to see what the last unboxing of that box works out at and who got the closest with their guess. So thanks for watching. Our grand total now, I've added in the last couple of episodes, we're at about $18,700, just a bit over from out of that emergency storage shed so far. So it's getting up there, pushing 20 grand. Who would have thought? And are we halfway? The jury's out on that because I'm kind of tunneling. But anyway, it's a fun series. I'm enjoying it. Of course, I'm liking that I've got some good stuff to sell, but I do like the whole discovery thing. It's like a lucky dip every time we get something out of there. And it's been a lot of fun for you guys, I hope, judging from the comments. Now, in the last episode, Dudley mentioned in the background he could see the heater going. I think you can see it in this shot. Yes, the nights are getting chilly here. It's nice days, but we are pushing deeper into autumn or fall, and it won't be far around the corner. It'll be in winter. So it is certainly cooling off. I have a major job to do before it gets that cold. I'll show you. For those of you who watched the Great Farm Cleanup, I haven't finished yet. I've got lots of stuff stacked here and in the carport to go through. It's made my shed almost as bad as Ian Matthews and Everyday Solars. There's just no room to work in here. And behind that pile is my heater, my wood heater. So I certainly can't light it at the moment. Can we even see it? Let's go around here and duck down. And just behind that bottle is the wood heater. So I can't exactly light it up at the moment. I need to deal with a lot of this and sort it all out because The last few loads from the farm, I just had to put the stuff somewhere, and this is where it ended up. Well, not just there, it also ended up in my carport, and there's still a couple of things in the van that have just been riding around for quite a long time because I haven't done any big house cleanouts, and I'm actually not going to. I've been knocking back deals lately because I just have to get some clutter gone from in here. You will be pleased to know, though, that there's no farm stuff stacked on the deck. That's just e-waste. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.